searching for what I believe in, and I must never stop rising, rising, rising. Never stop rising, rising.
But what's happening? Welcome to another episode of Unique Sessions. This is part of the community series. Hope you're enjoying it so far. It's taking a step away from my usual process and just trying to share thoughts and just speak my mind and share which verses that make me think about these things. And this is another part of community, and I just want to throw the scripture out there. A lot of people have read this. Some people may be hearing it for the first time, but yeah, this is it. Romans 12:16. It says, "Live in harmony with one another. Do not be haughty, but associate with the lowly. Never be wise in your own sight." I'll read that again. Live in harmony with one another. In a community, by the way. Live in harmony with one another. Do not be haughty, but associate with the lowly. Never be wise in your own sight. And this one has so many little bits and pieces in it. I'm just going to go into it. Live in harmony with one another. It's talking about in a community situation. If you know you're a group of friends, you're a circle, you're part of a church or something, you should strive to live in harmony with the people in your community. It's not always easy. There's always going to be character differences, but there's an importance with living in harmony. One, when you bring strife, when you bring argument, when you bring complaints, when you bring negativity, when you bring backbiting to a community, you're bringing poison. It causes separation. It damages relationships. It reduces the chance of trust. Bringing negative atmosphere into a community can be damaging. It's poisonous. So when it says live in harmony with one another, even if you have a disagreement with someone, try and make up with them in a mature basis. Even if you know you will not be best of friends, let's just keep it respectful and keep it moving for the sake of everyone else in the community. It's important. It doesn't force people to feel awkward when two people are around and people know they don't like each other. It's an elephant in the room. It's an unnecessary distraction. That's one part of this. And it also says, do not be haughty. Don't be big-headed. Don't be all like disrespectful and all, just going around just shooting off at them out disrespectful things and thinking you're too big for your own boots or whatever. It's important too because it creates an air of arrogance. Nobody likes someone that's full of themselves. It's annoying. It grates the nerves. Even if you don't mean to be. It's important to check yourself if you're doing it for a joke. Sometimes people do it for a joke and take it too far. I've seen it, which is why I'm pointing it out. These are all things that are damaging to a community. That's why it says live in harmony with one another. Do not be haughty, but associate with the lowly. Now, this one's important too. People love to say they know big names. People love to be associated with big names. Oh, I know that guy. Oh yeah, he's my friend from school. Or he's my daughter's nephew, sister's cousin's grandfather, or whatever nonsense. They always try and connect themselves to a bigger name. They do that because they want to seem big themselves. Anyone who's trying to stress to someone that they know someone is just trying to look big themselves. Oh, Drake, yeah, I know him. I met him once in Canada and we've kept in touch since. Look, why does that matter? If it's not really, I don't know. If you're not treating everybody else like that, then there's a problem. If you're not, for example now, it says associate with the lowly. With the lowly. There are people out there who may not be in great circumstances but need love, respect, just an acknowledgement, just like everybody else. If you're just saying you know certain people and you're not trying to say that you know other people, there's a problem there. Why are you only trying to associate yourself with the big names? What are you trying to make yourself look like? At least the name is big. You're just the guy in the car seat trying to make yourself look big just because somebody else is big. If you're trying to attach your name to someone, it's a self-esteem issue. It says here, associate yourself with the lowly, not with the high. It doesn't mean you can't say you know somebody, but if you're doing it for the wrong reasons, like just to look big, then there's a problem. And I think there's a reason why it says here, associate with the lowly. I think it's because some people don't like doing it. Let's just say it. People don't like associating themselves with the lowly. People don't like, some people don't like admitting that they know certain people who may not be in a good financial situation, or maybe they're looked upon as a joke. This started in school. Certain people are considered the geeks, the buffins, the dweebs, or whatever, and the nerds, and and there's always the cool kids. The cool kids don't like being associated with these, the dweebs, the nerds, and so on and so forth. For example, now this one is a very weird one. Some people are very nervous and worried about what the other people think about the person they're in a relationship with. Think about that for a second. You are concerned about what other people think about the person you're supposed to love. It's weird. And it's not even for the sake of, maybe you're nervous because they might spot something and you don't want to let go. It may just be that maybe you're comparing the person you're in a relationship with other people's spouses, other people's relationships. It happens. People compete. It's so weird. Why would you do that? It's destructive. It's wrong. It shows that there's an insecurity. All I'm trying to say is all these things are damaging to a community. It says associate with the lowly and never be wise in your own sight. Don't think you know it all, because when you think you know it all, that's when you really know nothing. You can never stop learning. There's always someone out there that knows something you don't. Even if you have masters and they don't, and they only have like GCSEs, they're always going to know something that you don't. That is life. Associate with yourself with the lowly just says, if you have something as somebody who may not have something that you have and is in the same community, what's wrong with giving it to them if it's not going to be damaging to you? What's wrong with just giving them a helping hand and saying, okay, fine, you're in the community, you just joined the community, you're homeless, you smell like urine. Maybe you need a place to have a bath. Maybe you need new clothes. How about that? Just helping with little things you could help with. That's what makes a community strong. I hear a lot of backbiting of just horrible things, man. I've heard people say stuff about people's divorces. If someone's in your community and they went through a divorce and a divorce, first of all, I would never wish a divorce on someone. It's a terrible thing to happen, but it happens. And then there'll be people talking about it like the people are the plague now. That's terrible. They're not even talking about it to plan to help the person in the community. They're just using it as a talking mechanism and saying something like, I'm glad I'm not that person, or I'm glad I'm not in that situation, or that will never happen to me. What I'm saying? That's an ugly thing. Associate yourself with the lowly. Lowly people are human beings too. One day they may shoot up and you may need something and they're willing, and they may be the person to hand it to you. Circumstances change. It's best to do things that are right regardless of the circumstance. And I think that's why they're saying it here, for the benefit of a community. It's so important for the sake of trust and belonging. It's not just about living this out, it's about encouraging it as well. Associating yourself with the lowly is not just about finances, it's about people who may have mental issues because they're looked down upon. I think that's why they use the word lowly there. People who are looked down upon by a certain community. For example, someone who is lowly in a certain community may actually be someone that's looked up at in another community. For example, rappers are highly praised in America. Sportsmen are highly praised in America. Certain areas in Africa, if you try and say I want to be a rapper, your mom may slap you. So I guess based on the context of the community, I think this is what this is rephrasing to. For example, now, helping someone with menial tasks or tasks that are seen as menial. Not everybody wants to stack chairs in the church, but there's nothing wrong with helping. It's good to not overestimate yourself and think you're better than others. If you see someone sweeping the floor, if you're just sitting there doing nothing, what's wrong with offering a helping hand? The job that gets done quicker, and the person may be able to enjoy the rest of the day or do other things if you give a helping hand. It's what builds a strong community. It's what builds a helpful community. It's what even makes the community grow, because everybody wants to be in a society, in a social setting where everybody looks out for each other. They feel safer there. It's a place where you're supposed to feel safe. There's so many benefits to this, and that's why I'm trying to stress this verse again. Romans 12:16. Live in harmony with one another. But once again, even if you don't get along with someone, try to live respectfully. Do not be haughty. Don't overestimate yourself and think you know everything. You think you're better than someone. But associate with the lowly. Never be wise in your own sight. This builds, one, even if you don't have it, it teaches humility. It's important for a community. Humility, humbleness, willing to actually help someone, the heart of a servant of service, trying to support everyone and everyone trying to support you. Think about where a community where everyone is trying to look out for each other. We don't see it very often, but they exist, and they are gems in societies where everyone is out for self. I just want to share that. This is another food for thought. If you have a community, I hope this helps. I hope this pointed out certain values. Yeah. And if you're looking for a community, these are things you should look for as well. So, yeah. God bless you. My name is Unique Creation. Have a great day, and see you at the next episode. Hope you've enjoyed the series so far. God bless. One. See you at the next one.
Must never stop rising, rising, rising.